The fish that prints money. The Golden Eel Revolution begins. Part 1. From Mud to Money. The morning sun stretches over the horizon, turning still ponds into sheets of liquid gold. A drone glides over rows of fish tanks glistening like mirrors, surrounded by patches of lush green vegetables. Beneath the calm surface, something extraordinary is happening, a quiet revolution, led not by corporations or machines, but by a humble creature living in the mud. While most farmers battle shrinking profits, droughts, and unpredictable markets, one small fish is rewriting the rules of modern aquaculture. It doesn't roar or leap. It glides, smooth, patient, and powerful. This is the spiny eel, known scientifically as Mastacembelus favus. But to those who've unlocked its potential, it's called the Golden Eelfish, the Wagyu of Freshwater. At first glance, it doesn't look like much, slender, shy, even mysterious. But behind that quiet nature hides a species that can turn a backyard pond into a full-time income stream. It thrives where others struggle, adapts where others fail, and rewards those who learn its rhythm. In rural communities across Asia, and now increasingly across America, farmers are discovering something remarkable. By combining the wisdom of nature with modern technology, they're growing both food and fortune in the same space. It's called aquaponics, a system where fish and plants live in perfect balance. Fish waste becomes fertilizer for vegetables, and the plants return the favor by cleaning the water. The result? A self-sustaining ecosystem that saves water, cuts costs, and doubles productivity. Imagine this: a 200-square-foot backyard system producing hundreds of pounds of fish and rows of clean, organic vegetables, all powered by biology. No chemicals, no waste, no pollution, just the timeless logic of nature, upgraded with human ingenuity. In Vietnam, farmers like those at Minh Ngoc Garden are reporting 80% less water use and 30% higher yields compared to traditional ponds. In the American South, innovators are turning underused backyards into microfarms, generating steady income from local organic markets. And at the heart of this transformation is one unlikely hero, a fish once overlooked, now redefining the meaning of smart farming. The numbers speak for themselves, with market prices reaching $20 to $25 per kilogram. Even small-scale farmers are earning profits once thought impossible in rural aquaculture. But this story isn't just about money, it's about independence, sustainability, and a new way of thinking about food production. Because this isn't just farming, it's the future. It's a movement where every drop counts, every leaf matters, and every fish tells a story of innovation and hope. This is the dawn of a new kind of agriculture, one that helps farmers grow wealth, not just food. Welcome to the eel-powered farm. Welcome to the future of sustainable profit. Part 2. Meet the spiny eel, the star of the show. It doesn't roar like a lionfish or flash colors like a koi. It doesn't leap out of the water like a trout or race through waves like a tuna. Instead, it moves in silence, smooth, deliberate, graceful, a quiet survivor in muddy waters. Known to science as Mastacembelus favus, but to farmers, it's the spiny eel, or as we like to call it, the golden eelfish. At first glance, it looks almost snake-like, slender body, olive brown stripes, and a sleek texture that lets it slip through even the narrowest crevices. But don't let its modest appearance fool you. This fish is a marvel of evolution, a bottom-dwelling omnivore perfectly designed for modern aquaculture. Unlike catfish, which stir up sediment and require frequent water changes, the spiny eel lives quietly at the tank's bottom, rarely disturbing its environment. Unlike tilapia, which breed aggressively and often overcrowd systems, the eel grows calmly and evenly, making it a dream species for high-density tanks. And unlike trout, which need cold, pristine water, the eel thrives in warm, variable conditions, from tropical ponds to controlled indoor systems. It's a survivor with style, strong, adaptable, and low maintenance. That's why aquaculture experts have begun calling it the Wagyu of Freshwater. Its flesh is tender yet firm, rich in protein and naturally low in fat, Chefs describe it as buttery and clean, with a delicate sweetness that absorbs flavors like a sponge. In Asia, it's a delicacy served in high-end restaurants, in Western markets. It's gaining recognition as a premium, eco-protein, sustainable, nutritious, and profitable. But what truly sets this fish apart isn't just its taste, it's its temperament. The golden eelfish is calm, almost meditative. It prefers shadowed corners, curling around small PVC tubes or under submerged shelters, like a cat napping in its favorite spot. It doesn't compete aggressively for food or space. In fact, its peaceful nature allows farmers to raise 30 to 40 fish per square meter without stress or injury, an unheard-of density for such a high-value species. That's what makes it a perfect match for aquaponics. Because it doesn't disturb plant roots or cloud the water. It coexists beautifully within the circular flow of a closed-loop system. The eel eats, produces waste rich in nutrients, and that waste feeds the plants, which, in turn, purify the water. Every breath, every movement, contributes to the cycle of life and productivity. When you watch them feed, it's mesmerizing. They rise from the shadows in slow motion, twisting gently through the water, searching for pellets or tiny worms, their bodies shimmering under the light. They eat quietly, deliberately, never frantically. You can almost feel the rhythm of patience, the art of slow, steady growth. That's their secret, slow and steady, calm and strong. Within 7 to 8 months, these fish grow from tiny 3-gram juveniles to plump 300-gram market beauties, ready for restaurants or export. Give them another few months, and they can easily reach half a kilo or more. In traditional ponds, that kind of growth could take nearly a year. But in aquaponics, with balanced water and steady oxygen, the results are astonishing. And they're tough, really tough. Spiny eels can handle minor water fluctuations that would wipe out more fragile fish. Their hardy nature means fewer losses, less medication, and higher profit margins. Some farms report survival rates over 90%, even in beginner setups. Yet, beneath their strength, there's something poetic about them. The way they hide beneath roots and emerge only when it's safe, it's as if they carry the spirit of quiet resilience. They don't demand attention, they simply deliver results. For many small farmers, this humble eel isn't just food, it's hope. Hope that even with limited land, limited capital, and limited opportunity, you can still build something thriving. Hope that a handful of tanks, a few pipes, and a little patience can turn into a source of pride and independence. Because when you raise the golden eelfish, you're not just growing fish. You're growing freedom. Part 3, The Revolution. What is aquaponics? Imagine a farm that never wastes a drop of water, where every fish, every plant, and every microbe plays a role in a perfect, living cycle. No runoff, no chemicals, no waste, only growth. That's aquaponics, nature's own recycling system, refined by human hands. In its simplest form, it's a beautiful partnership. Fish feed the plants, and plants clean the water for the fish. Here's how it works. Inside a tank, fish like the golden eelfish eat, grow, and naturally release waste, rich in ammonia. In traditional fish farms, that waste would build up and pollute the water. But in an aquaponics system, beneficial bacteria convert that ammonia into nitrates, a form of nitrogen that plants absolutely love. The nutrient-rich water flows into grow beds filled with lettuce, spinach, herbs, or even tomatoes. The plants absorb those nutrients, purify the water, and send it right back to the fish tank. It's the ultimate example of circular farming, a closed-loop ecosystem where nothing is wasted and everything has a purpose. As one farmer put it, you're not managing two systems, you're managing one complete circle of life. This isn't some distant dream or futuristic idea. Across the world, from the rice fields of Vietnam to suburban backyards in Florida and Arizona, farmers are already using aquaponics to grow twice the food with a fraction of the resources. In traditional fish ponds, farmers must replace large amounts of water every few days to keep oxygen levels high and ammonia low. That's costly, time-consuming, and environmentally draining. But with aquaponics, water use drops by up to 80%, and the system practically cleans itself. It's like farming with the wisdom of nature and the precision of technology. And here's where it gets revolutionary. You get 2 harvests from one system. While the golden eelfish thrive below the surface, the plants above, from leafy greens to fresh herbs, flourish on the very nutrients the fish provide. Every pound of fish waste becomes a pound of plant growth. That means more profit, less input, and 0 synthetic fertilizer. For small farmers, it's a game changer. You no longer need acres of land or deep wells. A few hundred square feet, even a garage or a backyard greenhouse, can become a self-sustaining microfarm. In cities across the U.S., aquaponics is rising fast. Urban growers in Chicago and New York are turning abandoned warehouses into vertical farms. In Texas and California, families are setting up backyard systems that produce their own organic vegetables and fish year-round. And on rooftops in Los Angeles, aquaponics startups are redefining what local food can mean: fresh, sustainable, and grown just a few feet from where it's eaten. This revolution fits perfectly with the American mindset of innovation, doing more with less. Creating independence through ingenuity, it combines ancient wisdom with modern technology. Ancient farmers in Asia used similar natural systems thousands of years ago. But today's farmers add sensors, pumps, and solar panels to make it efficient and scalable. Aquaponics isn't just an agricultural method, it's a philosophy. It challenges the idea that farming has to deplete the earth. Instead, it proves that productivity and sustainability can coexist. Let's look at some real numbers. Stocking density: 30 to 40 fish per square meter. That's 10 times more efficient than traditional ponds. Water savings: up to 80% less water used compared to standard aquaculture. Cycle time: only 7 to 8 months from fry to market-ready fish. Dual yield: up to 3 to 5 kilograms of vegetables per square meter per harvest. It's efficient, eco-friendly, and profitable, but it's also poetic, a model of balance and respect. Every drop of water is reused. Every nutrient is recycled. Every harvest is a reminder that when humans work with nature, not against it, prosperity follows naturally. And perhaps the most powerful part? It brings control back to the farmer. No dependence on fluctuating water sources. No expensive fertilizers. No guesswork. Just a smart, predictable system that gives you both food security and financial freedom. From the outside, an aquaponic farm might look like a set of simple tanks and beds. But underneath the surface, it's a symphony: fish breathing, plants growing, microbes working, all in harmony. In a world facing water scarcity, climate uncertainty, and rising food costs, this isn't just innovation, it's salvation. No waste. No pollution. Just smart farming. Part 4. Step-by-step setup. Building your aquaponic goldmine. Setting up an aquaponic farm might sound like something out of a science lab, but in truth, it's surprisingly simple. Once you understand how the pieces fit together, it becomes more like building a living machine, one that runs itself, feeds itself, and pays for itself. Think of it as a self-sustaining aquarium that grows dinner. 1. Designing the system, the heartbeat of your farm. Every great aquaponic system begins with a smart design, a balance between form and function. You're not just building tanks and pipes, you're creating a living ecosystem. Start with the fish tank, the heartbeat of your operation. For the golden eelfish, the ideal depth is between 1.2 and 1.5 meters, roughly 4 to 5 feet. This depth keeps temperatures stable and gives the fish plenty of space to move while still making oxygen circulation efficient. A good starting size for beginners is 20 to 50 square meters, 215-540 square feet. That's about the footprint of a small garage, yet it can produce hundreds of pounds of fish per year. The tank can be built from reinforced concrete, fiberglass, or HDPE tarpaulin liners, durable, easy to clean, and affordable. Round or square tanks both work. But if you're going for efficiency, round tanks make it easier to collect waste at the center bottom for easy filtration. Next, you'll need raised grow beds, the second half of the cycle. These are shallow containers filled with gravel, clay pebbles, or floating rafts that hold your plants. The water from the fish tank is pumped up into these beds, where the plants absorb nutrients and clean the water before it returns to the fish below. Picture it as a two-story farm. Ground floor, your fish factory, producing nutrients. Upper floor, your vegetable garden, purifying and harvesting that energy. Now, to keep this harmony running, you'll need a filtration unit. A simple filter setup includes a mechanical filter, like sponges or mesh, to trap solids. A biofilter, gravel or porous media, where bacteria live and convert ammonia into plant nutrients. A return line that sends the clean water back down to the tank. And of course, powering it all is a water pump. It cycles water between the fish and the plants 24 hours a day, quietly, continuously, and reliably. The flow should be gentle, not turbulent. You're not creating rapids, you're mimicking nature's calm river rhythm. It's surprisingly efficient, using only a few hundred watts of power, the same as a laptop. Many farmers even use solar panels to make the system completely off-grid. 2. Creating a safe habitat. Comfort breeds growth. The golden eelfish is a bottom dweller that loves to hide. If you give it shelter, it will reward you with faster growth and fewer losses. So inside the tank, install PVC pipes, around 2 to 3 inches in diameter, or bundles of tree branches tied together. Each fish should have 3 to 5 tubes to choose from. This isn't decoration, it's psychology. When fish feel secure, they eat better, grow faster, and resist disease. Stress is the silent killer in aquaculture, and these hiding spaces are your natural stress reducers. Next comes aeration, the lungs of your system. Your fish need oxygen just as much as you do. Install nano bubblers, air stones, or solar-powered air pumps to keep dissolved oxygen levels above 5 milligrams per liter at all times. You'll see the difference immediately. Active, healthy fish that feed eagerly, clear water, and thriving plants. And remember, never shut off your aeration. Even a few hours without oxygen can devastate your fish. A good rule of thumb: if your pumps are quiet, something's wrong. 3. Choosing the right crops. 2 harvests, 1 system. One of the best things about aquaponics is that you're not just growing fish, you're also growing food. The plant beds above your tanks can yield a steady stream of organic vegetables that practically sell themselves. Start simple. Lettuce, quick to grow, thrives in nutrient-rich water. Spinach, strong root system, ideal for beginners. Kale, a popular superfood, grows well in warm climates. Water spinach, Ipomoea aquatica, fast-growing, highly profitable in Asian and tropical markets. As your system matures, you can experiment with herbs like basil, mint, or coriander, or even fruits like cherry tomatoes and strawberries using floating rafts. The magic is in the cycle. Every time your fish eat, they feed your plants. Every time your plants absorb those nutrients, they give back clean water. It's the purest form of recycling on Earth. So the next time you eat a salad from your own aquaponic bed, remember, every bite of lettuce was powered by fish waste. That's real sustainability. 4. Water quality control. The science made simple. You don't need a PhD to maintain an aquaponic system, just consistency. If you can maintain a swimming pool, you can run aquaponics. Keep an eye on 4 simple parameters. pH. Maintain between 6.5 and 8.5, slightly neutral to mildly alkaline. Too low, and your fish get stressed. Too high, and your plants struggle. Temperature. The sweet spot for the golden eelfish is 80 to 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 to 32 degrees Celsius. Warm water keeps their metabolism steady and their growth fast. Dissolved oxygen, DO, always above 5 milligrams per liter. Aeration systems and circulating water will handle most of this automatically. Watercolor, nature's own indicator. A light green hue means your microecosystem is balanced, algae and bacteria are working in harmony. If the water turns brown or smells foul, it's time for a small water refresh, 10 to 20% new water each week. Check your system regularly with affordable water test kits. They're as easy to use as pool strips. Dip, read, adjust. You'll soon start to feel your system's rhythm. A slight shift in color, a slower feeding day, these are signals, not problems. Once you learn its language, aquaponics becomes second nature. 5. The visual symphony. What a healthy system looks like. Picture it. In one half of your screen, clear water ripples through tanks where golden eels glide calmly between rows of shelter tubes. Tiny bubbles rise from nano-aerators, sparkling under the sunlight. In the other half, rows of crisp lettuce and green kale stretch upward, roots suspended in crystal clear water. The entire system hums quietly, alive, efficient, harmonious. It's not just a farm, it's a living ecosystem. Every pump, every bubble, every leaf is part of the same song, the sound of nature and technology working as one. So whether you're a rural farmer or a city dreamer with a spare backyard, this is your blueprint. A few tanks, a pump, some plants, and the will to start, that's all it takes to build your own aquaponic goldmine. Because when you design nature's systems to work for you, profits flow naturally, and sustainability becomes more than a buzzword. It becomes your lifestyle. Part 5. The perfect fingerlings. Getting the right start. Every great harvest begins with one simple choice: the quality of your seed. In aquaponics, your seed is not a grain, it's your fish. Getting the right start with the golden eelfish means everything. It determines not just how fast your fish grow, but how healthy your water stays, how evenly they feed, and ultimately, how much profit you make. As the old saying goes, healthy stock grows healthy profits. So let's dive into how to choose, handle, and care for the perfect fingerlings, your foundation for success. 1. Sourcing quality stock. Where it all begins. Don't gamble with unknown suppliers. A low-cost batch of fingerlings might look like a bargain, but poor genetics, disease, or weak stock can destroy your system before it even starts. Instead, always source from reputable hatcheries, those with proven breeding programs and consistent survival rates. These professional farms specialize in producing uniform, disease-free stock, bred for resilience and fast growth. In regions like Southeast Asia, top hatcheries have mastered the art of producing golden eelfish fry that adapt well to closed-loop environments like aquaponics. In the US, similar standards are followed by sustainable fish farms supplying tilapia or catfish. The same principles apply. If possible, visit the hatchery. Look at how the juveniles are raised. Clean water with gentle flow. Uniform size across the batch. Active, responsive fish that swim upright and feed aggressively. If the water looks murky, or the fish are sluggish or uneven in size, walk away. Healthy fingerlings are like healthy seedlings, strong, vibrant, and full of potential. 2. Size and selection. The 3 to 4 inch rule. The ideal fingerling size for golden eelfish is 3 to 4 inches long, or roughly 2 to 3 grams in weight. At this stage, they're hardy enough to handle transfer, yet young enough to adapt easily to a new system. Smaller fry are more fragile and often fall prey to stress or temperature swings. Larger juveniles may take longer to adjust and can be more expensive to purchase in bulk. When you inspect them, look for key signs of quality. Checkmark even size and color. Checkmark no bent spines, sores, or white patches. Checkmark active movement, they should swim smoothly, not spin or float awkwardly. Checkmark intact fins and a glossy sheen on the skin. Side by side, the difference between healthy and weak fish is dramatic. Healthy fingerlings dart quickly, their bodies sleek and strong. Poor quality ones drift lazily or show red marks near the gills, a warning sign of stress or bacterial infection. Remember, these are not just fish, they're your business partners. Treat the selection process like hiring your dream team. 3. Acclimation and salt bath, the welcome ritual. Even the healthiest fish need a gentle welcome to their new home. Moving from the hatchery to your tank is stressful. New water chemistry, new temperature, new environment. Without proper acclimation, many fish don't survive the first 24 hours. Here's the golden rule: never rush acclimation. Start by floating the sealed bags of fish in your tank for 15 to 20 minutes to equalize temperature. Then, slowly mix small amounts of your tank water into the bag over the next 10 to 15 minutes. This allows the fingerlings to adjust to your water's pH, hardness, and oxygen levels. Before releasing them, give your new stock a brief salt bath, about 2 to 3% salt concentration, roughly 20 to 30 grams per liter of water. Let them soak for 2 to 3 minutes. This simple, natural step eliminates most external parasites, disinfects the skin, and drastically reduces early mortality. Once the bath is done, gently net the fingerlings into your tank. Never pour the hatchery water directly in, as it might carry unwanted bacteria. It's a small ritual, but it's worth every second. Think of it as checking your passengers before boarding the train. Everyone must be healthy, ready, and safe. 4. Stocking density, finding the sweet spot. The beauty of the golden eelfish is that it loves company, but not chaos. In a well-designed aquaponics system, you can comfortably raise 30 to 40 fish per square meter without stress or overcrowding. That's several times higher than traditional pond culture. The key is balance, oxygen levels, filtration, and space to hide. With proper aeration and water quality, they'll coexist peacefully. In fact, these fish rarely fight, they simply find a spot to settle, rest, and grow. As they get larger, you can perform partial harvests, selectively removing the bigger individuals to reduce competition and keep the system stable. This method keeps oxygen levels consistent and growth rates high. It's farming with precision, efficient, ethical, and effective. 5. Survival and success rates. What to expect. If you've chosen healthy stock and maintained good water conditions, your mortality rate should stay below 10%, and often much lower. Advanced systems using probiotics, nano-aeration, and consistent monitoring report survival rates up to 90 to 95%. It's not luck, it's management. Feed on schedule, check water parameters daily, and ensure stable oxygen. A few minutes of observation every morning can save you thousands of dollars in lost fish. Because fish farming isn't about fighting nature, it's about understanding it. 6. The Western analogy, seeds of profit. If you're from a farming background in the US or Europe, think of this phase just like planting a new crop. You wouldn't plant weak or diseased seeds and expect a good harvest. The same logic applies here. Good genetics and good care produce consistent growth, lower feed waste, and premium quality fish, all of which translate directly into profit. Or, as one Texas farmer put it, you don't grow fish, you grow water, and the fish grow themselves. It's all about giving them the right start. Do that, and your aquaponics system becomes a money-making ecosystem, where every fish is a living investment. So remember, start right, and success will follow. Healthy fingerlings, right pointing arrow, stable water, right pointing arrow, thriving plants, right pointing arrow, steady income. It's not magic, it's smart farming done right from day one. Part 6. Feeding for growth, turning worms into wealth. They say you are what you eat. For the golden eelfish, that saying is more than true. It's the secret behind its power to turn simple feed into serious profit. If you want strong, fast-growing fish, you don't need fancy imported formulas. You need a smart feeding strategy, one that mirrors nature, keeps costs low, and keeps your entire aquaponics system in balance. Because in aquaponics, feeding your fish doesn't just grow fish, it grows plants, profit, and a sustainable cycle of life. 1. The omnivore advantage: why golden eelfish are born efficient. The golden eelfish isn't picky. In the wild, it hunts small crustaceans, insects, and aquatic worms hiding in the mud. In your tank, it adapts beautifully to a mixed diet, part natural, part formulated, making it one of the most cost-effective species in modern aquaculture. This adaptability is what makes it perfect for small farmers and sustainable systems. It thrives on what nature provides and thrives even more when you supplement smartly. In an era where commercial fish feed costs can eat up 60% of total production, the golden eelfish gives you freedom. It eats what you can grow locally: black soldier fly larvae, earthworms, or minced fish waste, all renewable and inexpensive. You're not just feeding a fish. You're feeding a closed-loop ecosystem that pays you back with every harvest. 2. The perfect formula: balanced nutrition for fast growth. To achieve rapid growth and maintain health, aim for feed with a protein content of 40 to 44%. This can come from a mix of commercial pellets and natural supplements you can produce yourself. Here's the winning formula used by top aquaponic farms. Base feed, pellets, 70% of the diet. High-quality floating or sinking pellets designed for carnivorous freshwater fish, 40 to 44% protein. Black soldier fly larvae, BSFL, 10%, high in fat and protein. Rich in calcium, easy to raise using food waste. Earthworms or red wigglers, 10%, a natural protein booster, also great for your plants when used as compost. Minced fish or byproducts, 5 to 10%, from small, low-value fish or trimmings. Vitamins and additives, trace amounts of vitamin C, probiotics, and mineral premix. This combination doesn't just meet the eel's nutritional needs, it enhances its immunity, reduces stress, and keeps water cleaner by limiting uneaten feed. Farmers who use mixed feed formulas report up to 15 to 20% faster growth rates and smoother body texture in harvested fish, a key selling point for premium buyers. 3. DIY feed innovation: save 30 to 40% and control quality. One of the most empowering trends in sustainable farming is DIY pellet feed production. Instead of buying expensive commercial pellets, farmers are using small pellet-making machines to create their own custom blends. The process is simple: mix ground ingredients, pellets, worm meal, fish scraps, BSFL, rice bran, with water. Press through a pelletizer, and dry under sunlight or a solar dryer. By doing this, you checkmark save 30 to 40% on feed costs. Checkmark customize formulas for each growth stage. Checkmark ensure freshness, no mold or spoilage. Checkmark reduce dependency on commercial suppliers. As one aquaponic farmer in Canada shared, when you make your own feed, you're not just saving money, you're mastering your ecosystem. And here's the bonus: any uneaten feed, organic waste, or leftover byproducts from this process go straight into your compost or BSFL bins. Closing the loop even further. It's farming the way nature intended: nothing wasted, everything connected. 4. Feeding routine: timing, quantity, and observation. Feeding isn't just about what you give, it's about how and when you give it. The golden eelfish grows best on a consistent, gentle schedule. Here's your daily rhythm. Feed 2 to 4 times per day, depending on size and temperature. Early morning and late afternoon are ideal feeding times. Feed the equivalent of 5 to 8% of the fish's total body weight per day. When they're small, under 50 grams, feed them more frequently, 3 or 4 times daily. As they grow, 2 feedings are enough. The key is observation. Watch how your fish eat. If they finish the feed in 10 to 15 minutes, you've got the quantity right. If there's leftover food, reduce slightly to prevent waste buildup and water contamination. You'll start recognizing their behavior: the smooth gliding toward the feed, the steady rhythm of eating. That's the pulse of a healthy tank. 5. Pro tips for maximum growth and health. Want to level up your feeding game? Here are proven pro tips straight from successful eel farmers and aquaculture experts. Vitamin C Boost. Add vitamin C twice a month, for 3 to 5 consecutive days each time. It enhances immunity and reduces stress during temperature changes. Worm Power. Mix 10 to 15% earthworm meal or fresh worms into the feed. This boosts growth by 15 to 20% and enriches the fish's natural color and flesh quality. Probiotic Magic. Add a splash of effective microorganisms, or commercial probiotics weekly to the water or feed. This helps digestion, keeps ammonia low, and improves plant root health. Feed rotation. Alternate between pellets, worms, and larvae to keep fish appetites strong and nutrient intake varied. These small tweaks add up. A system that feeds smarter earns smarter. 6. The Eco Loop. Feeding the future. In a traditional farm, feed ends when it hits the water. But in aquaponics, feed is just the beginning. Every grain you drop starts a biological chain reaction. The fish eat and release waste. Bacteria transform that waste into nitrate-rich plant fertilizer. The plants absorb those nutrients to grow lush and strong. Their roots, in turn, clean the water, sending it back to the fish, pure and oxygen-rich. It's the perfect cycle, one that can run for years with minimal input and zero pollution. That's why forward-thinking farmers see aquaponics not as fish farming, but as resource farming. You're not just producing protein, you're producing value at every level: feed, water, plants, and sustainability. It's regenerative agriculture in its purest form. 7. The tagline of the movement. Feed is the lifeblood of your system, the connection between every living part. When you feed right, everything else follows: growth, health, harmony, and profit. So remember this mantra, the one that defines every successful aquaponic farmer. Feed your fish right, and they'll feed your future. Because in this world of rising costs and fragile ecosystems, smart feeding isn't just a method. It's the key to independence, and to a new generation of farmers turning worms, waste, and wisdom into wealth. Part 7. Managing the water world. Keeping the system alive. If your fish are the heart of your aquaponic farm, then water is its bloodstream, the invisible force that keeps everything alive, balanced, and thriving. Get the water right, and everything else falls into place. Every successful aquaponic farmer learns one truth early on. You're not raising fish, you're raising water. The fish just live in it. That's the mindset that turns ordinary setups into high-performance ecosystems. 1. Daily rituals. The pulse of a healthy system. Running an aquaponic system doesn't mean standing over your tanks all day. It's about being observant, consistent, and connected. Just 10 to 15 minutes each morning can tell you everything you need to know about the health of your entire setup. Here's your simple daily check routine. The morning vital signs of your aquaponic world. pH check. Keep it between 6.5 and 8.5. This balance ensures both your fish and your plants can thrive. If pH drops too low, add a bit of crushed coral or lime. If it rises too high, top up with clean, neutral water. Oxygen level should always be above 5 milligrams per liter. Bubbles mean life. If your aerator stops, your fish start gasping, and that can happen fast. Water clarity. Look for a clear, light green tint. That's your sign of balanced microflora. If it turns cloudy or brown, it's time for a cleaning check or partial water refresh. Smell test. Yes, literally, healthy water has a clean, earthy smell. Any sour or rotten odor means trouble, likely ammonia buildup or decaying feed. These quick observations don't just prevent problems, they train you to understand your system. Soon, you'll be able to sense when your water is happy or tired. Just like an experienced farmer can read the mood of his soil. 2. The science behind the cycle. Nature's chemistry at work. To understand how aquaponics stays alive, think of your water as a living organism. Inside it, An invisible army of bacteria works 24/7, transforming waste into nourishment. Here's the simplified cycle. 1. Fish eat feed. 2. Fish excrete ammonia. 3. Beneficial bacteria, nitrosomonas, convert ammonia right-pointing aeronitrite. 4. Other bacteria, nitrobacter, convert nitrite right-pointing aeronitrate. 5. Plants absorb the nitrates, nature's fertilizer. 6. Clean water flows back to the fish. That's it, a natural chemistry set, constantly working behind the scenes. This process, called biological filtration, is what makes aquaponics so powerful. Once the bacteria colonies are established, usually after 3 to 4 weeks, your system becomes self-regulating. You'll literally see your water stabilize, your plants grow faster, and your fish breathe easier. 3. The role of M in probiotics, the microscopic farmers. Even the healthiest ecosystems need a little boost sometimes. That's where M, effective microorganisms, come in. M blends contain billions of beneficial bacteria and yeasts that help break down fish waste, neutralize odors, and prevent harmful bacteria from taking over. Think of them as probiotics for your farm, just like the ones that keep your gut healthy. How to use them? Add M Aqua or probiotic solution every 5 to 7 days. Standard dosage, about 10 milliliters per 100 liters of water, or follow the brand's guide. Stir it into the tank gently, no need to turn off pumps or aerators. The results are immediate. Clearer water, cleaner filters, less slime buildup, and stronger root systems in your plants. As one farmer joked, "It's like giving my fish yogurt, they stay happy. And the water smells great." 4. Weekly maintenance. Refreshing the system. Even the most balanced systems need a breath of fresh water now and then. Every 7 to 10 days, change out 10 to 20% of your total volume with clean, dechlorinated water. This simple refresh helps remove trace nitrates that plants didn't absorb, replenish oxygen and minerals, keep temperature and pH stable. Never replace too much at once. That can shock your fish and your bacteria colonies. Slow and steady is the rule. While you're at it, rinse your mechanical filters gently and check the pump lines for debris. It's not hard labor, it's more like tuning a musical instrument so the song keeps playing perfectly. 5. Aeration, the beating heart. If water is your bloodstream, aeration is the heartbeat that keeps it moving. The golden eelfish is a bottom dweller. It loves still water. But it needs oxygen-rich conditions to thrive. That's where your air system comes in. Use air stones, nano bubblers, or solar-powered pumps to keep oxygen levels above 5 milligrams per liter at all times. Don't ever turn them off, not at night, not during rain, not even during a power outage if you can help it. Many farmers install backup solar aerators or battery-powered air pumps just in case. It's a small investment that saves thousands of dollars in lost stock. Here's the magic of good aeration. Fish stay active and feed better. Bacteria work faster to process waste. Plants get stronger roots. Algae growth stays under control. The entire ecosystem breathes. And the proof? Real farms running constant aeration report mortality rates as low as 5 to 7%. Even with dense stocking, that's nearly double the survival rate of traditional ponds. In the words of one farmer from Louisiana, it's like having a fish spa that never closes, constant bubbles, constant life. 6. Reading the water. Becoming one with the system. Over time, you'll stop relying solely on test kits. You'll read the water the way a musician reads sheet music. A faint smell, a color change, a shift in feeding, they all tell a story. Water that's alive feels alive. It moves, it glows, it pulses with tiny bubbles. You'll see your fish cruising slowly through it, plants swaying gently above. That's when you know your system is in perfect balance, fish, bacteria, and plants working as one. And when it reaches that state, you realize something profound. You're not just a farmer anymore. You're the caretaker of an ecosystem, a small, beautiful planet you built with your own hands. So keep your water breathing, your pumps humming, and your eyes open. Do that, and your system will reward you with the simplest kind of miracle, life that sustains itself. Because at the heart of every thriving aquaponic farm is not technology, not machinery, but balance. Balance between air and water, between science and patience. And once you master that balance, you're not just managing water. You're managing life itself. Part 8, Defense Mode. Fighting disease the natural way. In aquaculture, just like in life, health begins with prevention. The most successful farmers aren't the ones who treat disease fastest. They're the ones who prevent it from ever showing up. Because as the saying goes, an ounce of prevention beats a pound of cure. When you work with nature, not against it, your farm becomes stronger, cleaner, and far more resilient. 1. The preventive mindset. Build health. Don't chase it. The first rule of disease control is simple. Keep your water clean and your fish stress-free. The second rule? Stick to the first rule. Stress is the silent killer in every aquaculture system. Overcrowding, poor oxygen levels, leftover feed, or sudden temperature changes. These are open invitations for pathogens to invade. A balanced aquaponic system already gives you a massive advantage: continuous water filtration, strong oxygenation, and natural bacterial support. But your daily habits make the difference between thriving fish and struggling ones. Preventive care is about routine, not reaction. Check water parameters, watch behavior, feed clean, and keep your system stable. If you stay ahead of the curve, you'll rarely face disease at all. 2. The enemies you'll meet. Know your opponents. Even in well-maintained systems, a few threats occasionally sneak in. Here are the most common health issues faced by golden eelfish farmers, and how to recognize them early. Fungal infections appear as white cotton-like growths on the skin or fins, usually caused by leftover feed or poor water hygiene. Parasites, tiny external worms or flukes that attach to the gills or skin, making fish scratch against surfaces. Intestinal inflammation, caused by spoiled feed, overfeeding, or poor water quality. Fish may lose appetite or swim sluggishly. Early warning signs. Fish stop eating or move less. Red or pale patches on the body. Frayed fins or cloudy eyes. Gasping at the surface. Erratic swimming. When you see these symptoms, it's not panic time, it's observation time. These are nature's way of whispering, something's off, fix the water first. 3. The natural medicine cabinet, organic defense strategies. Forget the chemical quick fixes. The golden eelfish, like your aquaponic system, thrives on natural balance, not antibiotics. Here are tried and true organic remedies that keep disease at bay without harming your fish or plants. Herb neem leaves, natural disinfectant. Acts as an antifungal and antiparasitic treatment. Use about 0.3 to 0.5 kilograms of crushed neem leaves per cubic meter of water. Steep in warm water overnight, then pour into your tank evenly. Repeat weekly or after heavy rain. Neem doesn't just treat, it strengthens the fish's natural immune system. Salt baths, simple, effective, timeless. The easiest way to handle mild infections or transport stress. Mix 2 to 3% salt solution, 20 to 30 grams salt per liter of water. Place fish in the bath for 2 to 3 minutes. Then return them to clean water. Use non-iodized salt only. Salt helps clear parasites, disinfect wounds, and restore osmotic balance. Garlic feed, nature's antibiotic. Crush fresh garlic and mix 5 to 10 grams per kilogram of feed for 3 to 5 days each month. Garlic strengthens immunity and prevents intestinal parasites. It's safe, cheap, and surprisingly effective, a natural powerhouse hidden in your kitchen. Petri dish probiotics and M solutions, the microbial shield. Add effective microorganisms, M, weekly to maintain a balanced ecosystem. These beneficial bacteria outcompete harmful pathogens and keep water crystal clear. Bonus: they help plants absorb nutrients more efficiently. Every one of these remedies works not by killing everything in sight, but by restoring balance. And that's the essence of sustainable aquaculture: harmony, not warfare. 4. The golden rule: treat the water, not just the fish. When fish get sick, beginners often rush to medicate them. But veterans know the truth: disease is a symptom, not the problem. Dirty water breeds stress. Stress invites pathogens. Pathogens attack the weak. So when something's wrong, don't reach for antibiotics, reach for your water test kit. Here's your natural response checklist. 1. Check pH, oxygen, and temperature immediately. 2. Refresh 10 to 20% of water with clean, treated water. 3. Stop feeding for 24 hours to reduce waste buildup. 4. Add probiotics or M to re-establish microbial balance. 5. Observe behavior closely for the next 2 days. In 90% of cases, your fish will recover on their own once the environment is fixed. That's the power of natural equilibrium. 5. Visual storytelling: from sick to strong. Picture 2 ponds side by side. In the first, the water is murky, fish hover near the surface, sluggish and pale. In the second, the water glimmers emerald green. Fish glide gracefully beneath the surface. Plants above sway gently in the current. The only difference? Care and consistency. No antibiotics, no chemicals. Just good water, clean feed, and attention to detail. A balanced aquaponic farm doesn't fight disease, it prevents it naturally. Every pump, every bubble, every leaf works together to defend your fish. And that's the beauty of the system you've built: a living fortress made of water, oxygen, and biology. In the end, your greatest defense is not medicine, it's mindfulness. Be the kind of farmer who listens to your water and observes your fish. Because when your system is healthy, your fish will never need rescuing. They'll simply live, grow, and thrive the way nature intended. Part 9: Harvest Day, when hard work turns into gold. The sun breaks through the morning mist, lighting up the rippling water like sheets of gold. You hear the soft hum of the aerators, the splash of nets being cast, and then, the sound every farmer waits for: the rustle of life meeting daylight. It's harvest day. The moment where patience, discipline, and dedication turn into reward. Months of work, of checking water, of feeding and watching, all leading to this single moment when the pond gives back what you've nurtured so carefully. 1. The emotional payoff: more than just fish. The first fish breaks the surface, shimmering, slick, muscular, the color of polished bronze. A farmer's hands lift it from the net, the water dripping through his fingers like liquid glass. Beside him, his family cheers. Children laugh as the scales sparkle in the morning light. It's not just another harvest, it's proof. Proof that this new way of farming works. That small systems can yield big dreams. That clean water and careful care can outshine luck and tradition. Each golden eelfish caught is a story of adaptation, patience, and rebirth. For many farmers, the first harvest feels like striking gold, not because of the money, but because it's the moment they realize, I can do this, I can feed my family and protect the land at the same time. 2. The numbers behind the joy. Let's break down what success looks like. After 7 to 8 months, the average golden eelfish weighs around 0.6 pounds, 300 grams, market ready for restaurants and local buyers. Give them a full year, and they can easily reach 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds, perfect for premium export or high-end dining. Under optimal aquaponic conditions, yields reach 7 to 10 tons per hectare per cycle, with 2 harvests per year possible in warm climates. That translates to an impressive ROI of $6 to $8 per 1.000 square meters, roughly a quarter acre, all from a small Sustainable setup that uses 80% less water and zero chemical fertilizer. For a backyard or smallholder farmer, that's not just income, it's independence. 3. Gentle hands. Premium value. The golden eelfish is delicate and valuable. Treat it roughly, and you lose not just quality, but profit. During harvest, use soft nets and gentle handling, never drag or overcrowd. Once lifted, place the fish into clean, aerated holding tanks or basins. Avoid sudden temperature changes or long exposure to air. A calm harvest means less stress, better flavor, and higher shelf life, all of which buyers notice immediately. If you're selling to restaurants or specialty markets, this care translates directly into higher prices. Chefs value the eel's smooth texture and clean taste, both of which depend on careful post-harvest handling. And here's a simple but crucial detail. Starve your fish for 24 hours before harvest. It clears their gut, improves flesh quality, and reduces ammonia buildup during transport. It's these small professional touches that separate a good farmer from a great one. 4. The profit picture. From mud to money. A well-managed system can pay for itself in 1 or 2 cycles. Let's do a quick example. Area: 1.000 square meters. Stocking density: 30 to 40 fish per square meter. Harvest rate: 90% survival. Market price: $8 - 10 per kilogram. Yield: 2.5 to 3 tons per cycle. That's roughly $25 - $30 in gross revenue per harvest. After expenses, feed, electricity, maintenance, profits average $6 - $8 per cycle. But the real power of aquaponics is that your system keeps producing. While the fish grow, your plants above the tanks bring in a second income stream: lettuce, kale, spinach, turning every square foot into revenue. Double harvests, double resilience, and endless potential. 5. Voices from the field. Farmers who made it. Nguyen Van Hung, a small-scale farmer from the Mekong Delta, beams as he watches his nets fill. When I started, I didn't believe these small tanks could change my life. Now, I sell every batch before I even harvest it. Buyers call me first. Le Cong Tien, who manages a family farm in northern Vietnam, smiles as his wife sorts the fish into bins. We don't use antibiotics or chemicals, only clean water and natural feed. Customers say they can taste the difference. It's clean, sustainable, and profitable. And across the ocean, in the southern US, where rural families are rediscovering the art of small-scale aquaculture, the story sounds the same. We don't need hundreds of acres, just a few tanks, a solar pump, and the right mindset. The rest takes care of itself. 6. The golden reflection, the reward of patience. As the last net is lifted, and the fish ripple through the water one final time, the pond feels lighter, almost as if it knows its job is done. The farmer looks out across the tanks, once just bare ground. Now a living, breathing business. The smell of clean water, the sight of healthy fish, the sound of laughter, that's the real harvest. Because at the end of every cycle, the numbers are impressive, yes. But the true treasure lies deeper, in the knowledge that sustainable farming can be beautiful, balanced, and rewarding. And when the day is done, as the sun dips low and golden light dances across the empty nets, the farmer smiles and says quietly, "It started with mud, now, it's gold." Part 10, Success Stories. From Ponds to Prosperity. Blank, _ blank. Every movement starts small, a single seed, a single pond, a single dream. But when those dreams ripple outward, they become something bigger, a wave of change that transforms entire communities. The aquaponics revolution isn't led by giant corporations or billion-dollar investors. It's being built by families, farmers, and visionaries who believe that clean water and clever systems could build a better life. Here are 3 powerful stories, real people, real farms, and real results, that prove sustainable farming isn't just possible, it's profitable. scalable, and deeply human. 1. The Garden of Green Gold, turning backyards into ecosystems. In the lush heart of southern Vietnam, there's a quiet paradise locals now call the Garden of Green Gold. This was once an ordinary family plot, 2.500 square meters of unused land behind a small house. But under the hands of a visionary grower named Min Ngoc, it became a model of modern farming innovation. Instead of digging deep ponds, Ngoc built 6 above-ground tanks, each lined with tarpaulin and connected by a closed-loop aquaponics system. Fish below, vegetables above. Within months, the tanks turned into living ecosystems, shimmering with golden eelfish below and sprouting clean green vegetables above. Her results stunned everyone. 7 tons of fish per year, all sold out to local restaurants and clean food stores. Hundreds of kilos of vegetables per month, feeding both her family and her neighbors. Water savings of over 80% compared to traditional ponds. And perhaps most importantly, no chemical fertilizers, no antibiotics, and no waste. When people visit my farm, Ngoc laughs. They expect mud and smell. Instead, they see flowers and hear water running. It's not a farm anymore, it's a garden that breathes. Her project inspired a small movement across her district, dozens of other women, homemakers, and retirees following her blueprint. Today, the Garden of Green Gold stands as living proof that sustainability can be elegant, and that profit and purity can grow hand in hand. 2. The Innovator Farmer, scaling smart, not big. Farther down the Mekong Delta, another pioneer is redefining what it means to think like a farmer. Meet Tran Ton Hung, known among his peers as the Innovator Farmer. Hung started with one small pond, a simple experiment with a few hundred fingerlings and a big dream. But instead of scaling horizontally, he scaled intelligently. He replaced traditional earthen ponds with 40 lined tanks, each designed to optimize space, control water quality, and manage temperature more efficiently. In just 3 years, Hung transformed his farm into a dual-purpose operation, producing market-ready golden eelfish for local and export demand, supplying high-quality juveniles to smaller farms across the region. His innovation didn't stop there. Hung introduced solar-powered aeration systems and automated feeders, allowing him to manage oxygen, feed, and water flow from his smartphone. The results? 90% survival rate year-round. Consistent harvests, regardless of weather. Zero discharge, every drop reused, every nutrient recycled. I didn't want to be just a fish farmer, Hung says. I wanted to be a system builder, someone who designs farms that can think for themselves. Now, he consults for local cooperatives, helping other farmers adopt his smart pond model. What started as a one-man experiment is now a thriving network of innovators sharing knowledge and technology across the Delta. Hung's vision is simple. We can't control the market, but we can control how we farm. When we farm smarter, we all win. 3. The Mentor Farmer, multiplying success through community. In the northern hills of Thanh Hoa Province, where winters bite harder and water runs colder, Le Cong Tien built something extraordinary, not just a business, but a movement. Tien began with modest ambitions, one pond, a few tanks, and a desire to build a cleaner, more stable source of income for his family. But what set him apart wasn't scale, it was his heart for sharing. Over a decade, he expanded his farm into a 52-ton-per-year aquaponic powerhouse, generating around 600 million Vietnamese dongs, nearly $25 USD, in annual profit. But he didn't stop there. Tien opened his doors to others, literally. He trained over 400 local families, teaching them how to design, build, and operate small aquaponic systems using local materials. Some used cement tanks, others used recycled IBC containers. Together, they built a network of microfarms supplying clean fish and vegetables to local schools, markets, and households. I realized I could only eat so much fish. He smiles. So why not help others raise their own? Now, Thanh Hoa is home to one of Vietnam's first community-led aquaponic cooperatives, a model where farmers share resources, knowledge, and buyers. Tien became known affectionately as the mentor farmer, and his story inspired policymakers to promote small-scale sustainable aquaculture as a pillar of rural development. Standing by his tanks, watching the water ripple in the afternoon sun, Tien reflects. Farming used to be lonely. Now, it's a community. When we lift each other, we all rise together. 4. The bigger picture, a revolution led by real people. These aren't corporate farms with massive budgets and imported equipment. Their homes turned into hubs of innovation. Their families proving that clean water, clean food, and smart systems can change everything. What unites them isn't scale, it's spirit. A shared belief that farming doesn't have to harm the planet to feed it. A faith that technology can empower smallholders, not replace them. And a determination to show that sustainability can be a source of pride, profit, and peace of mind. Across Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, and even parts of the United States, stories like these are multiplying, rippling outward like waves across still water. Each new pond is more than a business, it's a promise. A promise that the future of farming will be cleaner, smarter, and kinder. As one farmer turned trainer in Mississippi put it, "We used to depend on rain. Now, we depend on knowledge." And that's what this revolution is truly about. Knowledge turned into empowerment. Water turned into wealth. And ordinary farmers becoming extraordinary changemakers. In every tank, every leaf, every ripple, there's proof that sustainability isn't a luxury, it's the smartest investment a farmer can make. Because when you give people the tools to grow clean food and clean income, you don't just feed families. You change futures. Part 11. Expert Secrets. Turning aquaponics into a long-term business. Behind every thriving aquaponic farm is more than good water and healthy fish. There's a sharp business mind at work. Because while aquaponics begins as a passion, the real success comes when you turn that passion into a sustainable, repeatable, long-term business model. The difference between a hobbyist and a professional farmer lies in how you think, not just as a grower, but as an entrepreneur, someone who tracks, adapts, and builds a brand that lasts. Let's uncover the 5 pillars that separate short-term experiments from long-term empires. 1. Invest smartly, quality setup. Low maintenance. In aquaponics, your first investment determines your future peace of mind. Cheap pumps, weak aerators, and leaky liners might save you money up front, but they'll cost you endlessly in repairs, stress, and lost yield. A quality setup pays for itself. Start with strong foundations. Reliable pumps with backup power or solar integration. Durable tanks, HDPE, fiberglass, or concrete with proper waterproof coating. Efficient aeration, air stones or nano diffusers for steady oxygen flow. Automatic timers or IoT sensors for temperature and oxygen tracking. Think of it like building a house. If the base is strong, everything else runs smoothly. Smart farmers design for low maintenance, not high energy. A well-built system can operate 24/7 with minimal oversight, just steady observation and routine checks. And remember, every piece of equipment is an employee in your ecosystem. Treat them that way, clean them, monitor them, and replace them before they quit. 2. Learn before you leap. Knowledge is your real capital. No matter how advanced your setup, it's only as strong as your understanding of it. Too many beginners dive in with enthusiasm but little training, and soon find themselves overwhelmed by terms like nitrate conversion or biofilter cycling. That's why the most successful farmers study before they scale. Join online workshops, local training centers, or even YouTube communities dedicated to aquaponics. Many universities and agri-tech platforms now offer free or affordable online courses in aquaculture, hydroponics, and sustainable farming. Learn the science, but also learn the business. Understand feed ratios, growth stages, and water chemistry, but also learn how to market, price, and brand your products. In this industry, your greatest asset isn't land or tanks, it's knowledge. As one farmer from Thailand said, "I didn't buy equipment first, I bought understanding. The rest followed naturally." 3. Track everything, numbers never lie. The secret weapon of every serious aquaponic entrepreneur? Data. You can't manage what you don't measure. Tracking your numbers turns intuition into intelligence and guesswork into strategy. Keep a simple daily logbook, or digital spreadsheet, tracking. Feed input. How much you feed and how often. Fish growth rate. Random samplings every 2 weeks. Water parameters. pH. Dew. Ammonia. Nitrate. Expenses and income. From electricity to seed costs. Soon, patterns emerge: what works, what wastes, what wins. This data lets you forecast profits, identify problems early, and impress investors or buyers with professionalism. Because when your farm runs on data, not luck, you move from being a small farmer to a farm manager. 4. Build brand value: organic, clean, and traceable. In today's market, you're not just selling fish, you're selling trust. Consumers are no longer satisfied with anonymous products. They want to know where their food comes from, how it was raised, and who raised it. That's your opportunity. Position your farm as a clean, traceable, and sustainable brand. Use clear packaging, simple storytelling, and social media to share your journey, from fingerlings to harvest. Show the clean water, the plants, the absence of chemicals. Transparency builds loyalty faster than any advertisement. For local markets, emphasize freshness and purity. Raised in filtered water, no antibiotics, no hormones, 100% natural taste. For restaurants, highlight the eco-luxury angle. Sustainably farmed freshwater eel, the Wagyu of fish. And don't underestimate storytelling. A 30-second farm video showing your process can turn casual buyers into lifetime customers. The result? You're no longer competing on price, you're competing on principle. 5. Diversify income, multiple streams. One system. Aquaponics is more than a farm, it's a platform for opportunity. Don't limit yourself to selling fish alone. Think of your system as a multi-layered income generator. Primary income: fresh fish, golden eelfish, catfish, or tilapia. Secondary income: organic vegetables, herbs, or microgreens. Tertiary income: fingerling sales, farm tours, training workshops, and agri-tech consulting. Visitors love seeing how water becomes food. Hosting tours, workshops, or even weekend courses can bring steady supplemental revenue and inspire others to join the movement. In Vietnam, Thailand, and now across the US, many small farmers are creating eco-tourism experiences, serving fresh farm-to-table meals beside their tanks. The result? Community engagement and profit rolled into one. Diversification means stability. When one market slows, another keeps you afloat. 6. The global opportunity, from local ponds to Asian plates. What began as a small-scale innovation has now reached international demand. Golden eelfish, with its firm texture and clean flavor, has become a culinary favorite in Japan, Korea, and China, where it's marketed as an eco-premium protein and smart seafood. These countries are willing to pay a premium for traceable, sustainably farmed fish. For exporters, that's a golden opportunity. Even Western markets are catching up. The US, Canada, and Europe are seeing growing demand for low-carbon aquaculture products, fish raised with minimal water waste and zero antibiotics. Position your brand for the future by emphasizing your eco-credentials. Raised in a closed-loop system, clean water, clean conscience. That's not just marketing, it's your gateway to the global green economy. 7. The future of food, eco-protein for a changing planet. We live in a world that's hungry for solutions. The planet's population keeps rising, resources keep shrinking, and consumers are craving sustainable answers. Aquaponics represents more than farming, it represents resilience. It's food security in an uncertain climate. Clean protein without pollution, profit without exploitation. In the West, it's already being hailed as the Tesla of agriculture, a technology-driven revolution built on harmony, not extraction. That's your story too. Whether you're farming in the rice fields of Vietnam, a Texas backyard, or a rooftop in Brooklyn, you're part of a global movement feeding the world responsibly. And the next time you watch your fish rise for their morning feed, remember, you're not just feeding them. You're feeding a future, one that's greener, cleaner, and richer in every sense. Part 12, The Farmer's Mindset, When Technology Meets Tradition. In every great revolution, there's a heartbeat that keeps it human. For aquaponics, for every smart farm and solar-powered pond, that heartbeat is still the same, the farmer's hands, eyes, and heart. Because no matter how advanced your system becomes, no matter how many sensors, apps, or algorithms you use, the real intelligence of the farm still comes from you. Technology shouldn't replace the farmer's heart, it should empower it. 1. The new tools of an ancient craft. For centuries, farmers have read the land by watching clouds, feeling soil, and listening to the rhythm of nature. Today's farmers do the same thing, only through new instruments. Instead of watching the sky, they check dashboards. Instead of tasting soil, they measure pH. Instead of guessing oxygen levels, they watch the data stream in real time on their phones. Automation isn't cold, it's precision with purpose. Smart feeders now dispense food exactly when fish need it, no waste. No overfeeding, no stress. Temperature sensors keep the water in the comfort zone automatically, adjusting aeration or pumps as needed. Solar systems run air blowers day and night, powered by the same sun that used to dry rice fields generations ago. Even the smallest farmer now holds the power of a research lab in their pocket. 2. Farming with data, not guesswork. In traditional aquaculture, decisions often came from experience. Feed more when they eat fast. Change water when it smells. Those instincts are invaluable, but now they can be quantified and multiplied. Apps like FarmRaise, Aquaponic IQ, or Purina's Aqua Analytics turn data into decisions. A quick glance on your smartphone can show today's feed conversion rate, oxygen and ammonia levels, water temperature trends over the last week, growth projections for your next harvest. With a few taps, you can know more about your pond than any farmer in history could have imagined. Technology doesn't make you less of a farmer, it makes you a smarter one. You still walk the tanks, still listen to the water, still watch your fish glide under the light. But now, when a reading changes, you know exactly why and what to do. It's like having a silent partner, a digital assistant that works 24 hours a day, never sleeps, and always protects your investment. 3. Tradition isn't lost, it evolves. There's a misconception that technology steals the soul of farming. But step inside any well-run aquaponic system, and you'll see the opposite. The hum of aerators isn't noise, it's a heartbeat. The soft glow of sensors at night isn't artificial, it's reassurance. And the farmer walking through it all, hands muddy, heart steady, is the same spirit that's tilled soil and raised livestock for centuries. The tools have changed, the values haven't. Farmers still wake before sunrise. They still learn patience from nature, humility from failure, and joy from every successful harvest. Technology just removes the fear, the unpredictability that has haunted farmers for generations. As one old grower from Kendo said, gazing at his tanks glowing under the LEDs, "I used to pray for rain. Now I pray for Wi-Fi." He laughs, but there's truth in it. Today's prayers are answered by connectivity, not luck. 4. When freedom lives in a screen. For many, the promise of aquaponics isn't just about cleaner food or higher profits, it's about freedom. Freedom from droughts and floods. Freedom from chemical dependency. Freedom from the fear that one bad season could end it all. Technology makes that possible. A smartphone alert replaces sleepless nights. A solar pump replaces expensive diesel engines. A data dashboard replaces blind faith. And that's the real power of the digital age, not replacing people, but releasing them. Releasing farmers from endless labor so they can focus on growth, learning, and life. It's a quiet kind of liberation, earned one bite, one bubble, one fish at a time. 5. The heart beneath the system. At the end of the day, when the screens go dark and the pumps hum softly under the stars, the farm still breathes through its caretaker, you. You're the one who feels the water with your hands, listens to the rhythm of the fish, and trusts that balance more than any sensor could measure. You're not just running a system, you're raising life. And behind every bubble of water, there's more than oxygen. There's a dream, the dream of freedom, of stability, of purpose. A farmer's dream. That's what this revolution is really about. Not just efficiency, not just profit, but the return of power to the people who feed the world. Technology gave farmers tools, but it's the farmer's heart that turns those tools into miracles. You've seen the journey. From the first drop of clean water to the first handful of feed, from a quiet tank of fingerlings to the moment nets rise heavy with shimmering fish. You've watched how a simple idea, fish and plants growing together, can transform empty land, empty time, and even empty hope into something powerful, sustainable, and profitable. This is aquaponics, the living bridge between tradition and technology. It's the proof that farming doesn't have to destroy nature to feed it, that innovation can live in harmony with the earth. And here's the truth, you don't need thousands of dollars or acres of land to start. You only need the will to begin. If farmers across Asia, from the Mekong Delta to the mountains of Tanwa, can do it, then so can you. If small families in rural America can turn their backyards into thriving eco-businesses, you can too. Because the future of farming doesn't belong to corporations or machines, it belongs to people who care. People like you. Start small, dream big. You don't need a huge pond or fancy equipment. Even a 10 x 10 foot system, the size of a small patio, can become your backyard goldmine. One tank, one grow bed, one pump, that's all it takes to begin. In a few months, you could be harvesting your own fish for dinner, your own greens for the table, and, who knows, your own profits for the future. Start small. Learn the rhythm. Grow the dream one tank at a time. Because every big farm started with one brave decision, the decision to begin. Join the movement. At the Farmer's Alley, we believe that knowledge is the new fertilizer. That every farmer, no matter where they live, deserves access to modern techniques, honest stories, and practical tools that work. Subscribe to our channel for real farmer stories, from those who've built their dream farms from scratch. Modern techniques, aquaponics, smart sensors, solar systems, natural feed, hidden profit models, proven ways to earn more while protecting your land. This isn't just content, it's a community. A place where dreamers become doers, and doers become innovators. A revolution rooted in you. As the camera pans over green leaves glistening above clear water, you hear it, the gentle hum of life working in balance. That's not just farming, that's freedom. So, take that first step. Start your tank. Build your system. Join the movement. Because the next success story could be yours. From green plants to golden profits, the revolution begins in your backyard. Subscribe to the Farmer's Ally, where every farm, every family, and every drop of water tells a story of hope, innovation, and abundance.